Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and my oh my, is this news really making the rounds as far as a huge change, adjustment to Steam, however you want to say it. It is a pretty massive one if you are in the regions of Argentina or Turkey. And yeah, Steam has gotten some major price hikes, so we'll go through the story. There's actually a Steam post that I believe is the top of the Steam subreddit. Today is the end of Steam for both Turks and Argentines. Original story over at PC Gamer notes, Valve followed through on its promise to change Steam's regional pricing for Argentina and Turkey on November the 20th, meaning games in those countries will now be priced in US dollars instead of Turkish and the Argentinian currency equivalents. The goal, Valve said back in October, is to prevent game developers from having to constantly adjust their price points to keep up with the stunning volatility of the Turkish and Argentine currencies. Instead, they ought to be able to set a regionally appropriate price in USD and forget about it. But that regionally appropriate part is a lot harder than it sounds, and Turkish and Argentine Steam users are currently in an uproar over new prices in their territories. The craziest thing that you will notice is the fact that in that Steam post that I did, the Reddit post that I did mention, somebody went over the price discrepancy of how things have changed, and here is a pretty crazy change to go over. Argentinian here. Yesterday I spent 46k Argentinian pesos on some games. Now with the new prices, it would cost me 701,000. That is nearly a 20x increase if my math, it's a little under 20x, but it's a staggering increase in terms of price points going up. It is just insane, and there is another post that shows like Backpack Hero prior, it was 1850 and now it is 287,000. It's just a ridiculous price increase. PC Gamer continues, and to be fair, they have a point. A quick glance at the SteamDB price history for some of these games reveals a few absolutely staggering price increases. Far Cry 5 has gone up in price by about 240% over its previous cost, from the peso cost, from a converted price of $14.12 to $48. Stardew Valley shot up even more, shooting up by 2,900%. The game's previous peso price shook out at about 50 cents, but now it costs exactly the same for both users in that region as it does for Americans in the US of A. Now, the thing is, I can understand why Valve would be like, okay, there's so much volatility in these currencies and they constantly have to go in and adjust the price points. But the thing is, the model itself, I don't think anybody is at fault for changing the model. However, this is such a stark and abrupt price shift. Not abrupt in the sense that, oh, Valve did announce this back in October. That's fine, great. But this staggering of a price increase is very abrupt. That this is legitimately, there's elements where you can increase price points and that's going to ultimately increase the revenue that you can make, and you'll be like, oh, yo, greed wins out and it's best for their bottom line and people are going to continue weighing the price. However, there comes a threshold where it's just too much and people are going to be like, bro, I'm not paying this, especially when you talk about the volatility of that currency and whatnot. Where if you're talking about a game going from $14 to $48, and you're talking about 200% increases to all the way up to 3,000% increases, that is a staggering shift, and one that, you know, you can't just expect people to also be like, oh, I'll continue to check this out even at this price point. No, this is too much of a big price increase without, like, the gradual nature of how price increases typically work. Like, Netflix now versus Netflix when it first started, yeah, there's a staggering price difference for what you're getting, but it was a gradual increase, not one that happened over the course of a month. You know, some of the bigger titles this year, Baldur's Gate 3 went from $28.25 to $35. That's a 24% increase, so not as staggering, but still a sizable increase. And Starfield has gone up by the same amount. Call of Duty went from $56.52 to $70. Those are still hefty price increases. Sure, they're not as egregious as the Far Cry 5 $14 to $48 or the Stardew Valley price increase, and it's not really something from a developer standpoint. It's not publishers, it's not developers, it's just the model that Steam is now implementing, and I don't even think Steam and Valve had the worst case scenario and the worst intentions with this. I think they just wanted to simplify the process for developers, and they didn't really account for how people in Argentina and Turkey are gonna feel about this. At least that's how I am coming coming to conclude this because I don't feel like Valve is the type of, like, bro, they're making money hand over fist regardless. Like, I don't think that they're like, oh yeah, increasing prices of Stardew Valley by 2,900% is really gonna increase our bottom line. It's not gonna increase you're just gonna gate people away from playing those games and lock people out from playing those games. That's what's actually going to happen when you're talking about egregious price increases like this. Sure, in the case of Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, and Call of Duty, those are more tempered price increases, but those are still, like, yes, they're tempered price increases in comparison to the Far Cry 5 and Stardew Valley, but 24% is still an incredibly sizable price increase that should not be scoffed at whatsoever. And there was actually, as PC Gamer noted, there were a couple of titles that did drop in price. Fair play to Diablo 4, frankly, which is the biggest game that was found. It actually managed to go down in price, dropping from a converted peso price of $79.13 to $70, a drop of 11%. There's probably a reason for that. Games don't have a specific price set for the new USD, Latin America, and USD, which are simply defaulting to their US dollar prices in USA. So that is why Diablo has potentially just dropped down in price. And as noted at the end of the PC Gamer article, which I feel like illustrates the difficulty in terms of solving this issue, the volatility of Argentine and Turkish currencies and relative cheapness of games in those territories is hard for devs to keep up with and made for a situation that region hoppers could easily exploit. And there are plenty of examples prior to the November 20th change for people who do not live in Argentina or Turkey setting their Steam store to those regions in order to take advantage of the markedly lower price points. It's difficult to envision a solution which doesn't either leave devs open to abuse or legitimate Argentine and Turkish users out in the cold. I really feel bad for the legit users. Like, the end of the day, I don't think the difference in cost and people exploiting this is really going to affect bottom line that much. That's what I would expect. Who I feel for are the people that are legitimately being left out in the cold, where the regional price points are seeing a gigantic skyrocketing. Now, I don't even know if this is at a point where it could be affordable to game in those regions. Like, to me, this is way too high of a price point where affordability becomes the real question. That's the issue. Gaming is a luxury. It's not something that is necessary for day-to-day life. I know that's crazy for me to say, but that is the reality of the situation, that if you actually price people out in those regions, well, at that point, they can't actually participate in the hobby. So that is something to consider as well. I'm sure Valve will eventually respond to this, and there's got to be something that could be worked out for, like, some sort of middle ground as far as solving, like, the exploit and whatnot. Like, I honestly have never talked to anybody exploiting Steam like that and adjusting their regions to take advantage of regional equivalent price points. I just think most people just see a game that they want to play in their specific region, and they end up buying it, you know, not utilizing exploits or anything like that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. It's a huge change and definitely one that has caused quite the stir on social media recently. So let me know your thoughts down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.